What is up, my dashing dudes? I am the Hans TV, and welcome back to the subreddit filled with the most horrible in-laws on the planet. It's r/JustNoMIL. Our first post for the day comes from Maple Spruce. Mother-in-law laughs about my hair loss, believing she's immune to cancer. I'm fighting cancer, an early stage. Fortunately, so things go well. Right now, I'm going through chemo, which means I'm losing my hair. Today I got sick and tired of finding hair everywhere I go, so I decided to just shave it off and call it a day. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. I kinda like this look actually. My husband is away for a job trip and will be back after a month or so. But my 20-year-old son has a few days off before he goes back to college and he's staying in our house. My mother-in-law came over, saw me without hair and just bursts into laughter. She was laughing aloud as if she just heard the funniest joke ever. She was like, "Oh my god, you look as if God was drunk when he made a human. You look like a dang shaved egg. You look like an inmate that has got out of prison after decades. Jesus, you look so silly." Before I managed to say something, my son heard what mother-in-law was saying and was like, "Shut your effing mouth before I do it for you. Look at your own mug in the mirror, like a scarecrow from the yard of a loony bin." Mother-in-law wasn't expecting this, of course. She stopped laughing and pouted that he can't talk to his grandma like that. She said that I must be ready for comments like this because people immediately will say I'm ill. My son was like, "Well, be careful, don't kick the bucket yourself." Mother-in-law said, "Oh honey, I'll be fine. I have no family history of cancer, so I don't have to worry about that." Well, guess what, mother-in-law? Neither do I. My entire family, I'm the first person to have cancer. When I got sick, I tracked my family's medical history as far as I could, and from what I found, none of my relatives has ever had cancer. Of course, I don't wish it upon her, but her thinking is kind of flawed. Yes, maybe it puts you at less risk of getting cancer than someone who has a history of it, but it doesn't grant you immunity. Cancer doesn't discriminate. This is a nasty trait of my mother-in-law. Whenever she sees someone with a disability or someone who, because of a health condition, visually looks different than others, or just someone who has a major illness, she often sneers and comments that this person must have done this or that to end up in that condition and it's their own fault. It has always seemed so weird to me because you don't know what awaits you in the future. Today you're healthy and tomorrow you might not be able to get out of bed. Mother-in-law is so sure she's going to be fine at all times that our health is the strongest of them all. It's like diseases don't exist to her. It's something that happens to everyone else, but her. Then she was like, "But really, wear a wig. You don't want to rock around looking like a bald alien. You're a woman after all." I told her that whether I wear a wig or not will be my choice, and her comments are highly inappropriate and I don't have to tolerate it in my own house. Mother-in-law was like, "Jesus, stop being so dramatic. You know yourself people laugh at bald women. How about you just wear a wig and calm down?" My son said, "How about you get the F out of here? Be careful walking down the stairs. Don't bump your already stupid head on something." I don't really understand why it was necessary to comment anything about my hair, and if she absolutely had to, she could do so without being mean. I wish she appreciated being healthy, as that can change at any minute. Okay. So not only is this woman your mother-in-law, she is making fun of you for having cancer? What kind of uncompassionate bitch is she? Like, this is infuriating as hell. Our next post comes from Mangy Colonial, Shrieking Banshee, and social media. Shrieking Banshee, like many other JustNoMILs, was picture crazy, and she wanted to post those pictures on social media. Dear husband and I had decided early on in the pregnancy that we didn't want any pictures of DS on the internet during the first year or so of his life unless we put them there. We wanted to know exactly what, when, and where those things were posted. We approved of and even encouraged our families, including Shrieking Banshee, to take as many photos or videos that they'd like as long as they didn't post anything online. Well, we all know where this is going. Shrieking Banshee didn't like our decision and decided that she would just do what she pleased anyway. Dear husband was the first to see one of her posts about a week after DS was born. He immediately called her and told her to take it down and reminded her of our rules. He told her that if she didn't comply with our rules, She would be unable to receive pictures others had taken or take her own. She can't be effed into oblivion. You could just hear it through the tone over the phone, but took the post down anyway. The next big holiday was Christmas, and she took tons of pictures of, well, everyone except me, but that seems to be common on this sub. We again caught her posting pictures of our DS on the Book of Faces. Dear husband got more heated with her this time. She passive-aggressively stuck stickers over D's face in the photos, some kind of photo editor, and reposted them. DH again called her and told her that it wasn't just his face we were concerned with. If people didn't see him in person, then they weren't important enough in our lives to have a visual of our child, in our opinion. Shrieking Banshee also has a nasty habit of posting her location and tagging us when we are all together. I don't like this due to some of my own family drama. We stopped sending her photos so she could play best grandma over the internet, and she hardly ever visited. We certainly didn't make an effort to visit her either, so it was mostly in control. Dear husband and I had really only planned on this rule to last about a year or so, for everyone to adjust to DS, and for safety purposes. I eventually lightened up on my rules and said that people could post photos of DS after his first birthday with some stipulations. Accounts must be locked down, posts are private, don't tag locations, and be careful not to mention location or time. We also didn't want any references of where we lived associated with anything online. Those who needed to know, well, they knew. Of course, in true JustNoMIL fashion, Shrieking Banshee took it as a personal attack. We didn't love her, we didn't appreciate the bond. What effing bond, Shrieking Banshee? She had with her grandbaby, etc., etc. Dear husband completely shut her down and told her that there were just a few rules to follow, and if she couldn't manage, then she couldn't have any pictures. He took her phone the next time we were at her house and deleted the photos that she had saved there. He explained that she was more than welcome to have photo privileges when she can respect us as parents. In the end, she followed our rules so she could play best grandma on Book of Faces. I hate it whenever hyper-entitled grandparents think that they have privileges and rights over your children simply for being their grandparents. Like, no, you don't. They're not your kids, they're my kids. You don't have any privileges. This next post comes from Malibu Meg. She won. My JustNoMIL has finally won the battle for her baby boy, future dearest husband, to come to her. His jello spine caved, and he is planning on leaving me to move back with her. He doesn't know that I know, but I've been packing since he left for work today. I will be addressing all of this with him tonight. I've reached my wit's end, and I'm ready to call everything off. We were supposed to move into a new apartment in a few weeks. She's super proud of him for wanting to leave, even enticing him with a man cave in the basement of her home. She could not contain her excitement in the messages I found between her and future dear husband. I know she has been working hard to stir the pot since Christmas. As future dear husband has been weirdly distant ever since, I didn't thank her for a gift. While I know that this is also a major just no significant other issue, I think my JustNoMIL helped seal the deal in his decision to leave. Side note, I've kept many details offline to protect my identity, so this one event causing such an issue might not make sense to most. There is much more going on than I presented to Reddit. With the help of awesome family and friends, I have secured a place to live while I get back on my feet. This sub opened my naive eyes to the JustNoMIL I was dealing with, and validated my decision to be no contact with her. I will always be grateful for the advice and support all you lovely folks gave on my posts. I hope I didn't find my way back to this sub in the future. Right now, I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders and I am free of the toxic woman who almost legally was my mother-in-law. I can finally stop worrying about her. On to bigger and better things. Honestly, OP, your title is misleading. She didn't win, you did. What she got was a man baby who's going to be entitled for the rest of his life and never want to leave mommy's arms. What you got was your freedom back, and you got a mature person that you're going to fall in love with someday in the future. He doesn't deserve you if he's going to act like that. Our final post for the day comes from Chica-chan. My mother-in-law is upset because I am not feeling up to bringing my 2-month-old to her. So I have a beautiful 2-month-old. She's the light of my life, and I just want what's best for her. My mother-in-law wanted to come when she was born, but I just wanted it to be my husband and me to get to know and enjoy her. Also, my mother-in-law won't vaccinate her kids, and I didn't want God knows what around my baby. Now she wants me to cart my baby halfway across the country to the germ pit and there's the coronavirus in the airways, and I feel nervous to fly. I've tried saying she could come to me, but they can never afford a hotel, and I'd be living with my mom and the rest of my family. Am I being selfish for not giving my husband's family 2 weeks? No. No, you are not. Babies don't need to be traveling across the country at all, and especially to somewhere that's infected with coronavirus, where the parents are anti-vax. Freaking idiots. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's episode of r/JustNoMIL. I hope you liked the stories, and if you did, I'll link them down in the description below. And if you liked the video, feel free to subscribe, like, and comment down below what you'd like to see me read next. A humongous thank you to everyone who subscribed in the past few months. I can't thank y'all enough for what y'all do for me and for my channel, and for the community that y'all are building. I can't wait to see where this next year takes us, and I hope that we become a much bigger community with many, many more of you dashing dudes. But with that being said, I will see you in the next video.